Hey guys, let's talk about new meta interview loop round, which is round 8, okay, and which is called production debugging. So you have given the scenario like user reports that newsfeed takes 8 seconds to load after the latest deployment. Okay, initially it was taking in few milliseconds, but now it is taking 8 second after the latest deployment. So definitely there were some problem in latest deployment. Okay, so how you will resolve that? So now here we will see answer based on two rules, E5 and E6. E4 can also use the E5 answer. Okay, and expectation differ by level. So E5 senior software engineer, he will be saying identify the bottleneck quickly and restore service. Okay, E6 staff engineer, he will say coordinate incident response, drive root cause analysis, improve observability, and prevent recurrence across the platform. Okay, so next time it should not happen, prevent recurrence. And then he will create a he will assign incident commander. Okay, he will check the incident with different teams, and then root cause analysis and improve observability. So now in detail, if I will say that my first priority is to confirm the issue using dashboard and metrics. Okay, so in dashboard and metrics you will be checking, determining whether it's a client side or server side issue, identify what changes is, in the latest deployment, and restore normal service quickly. If the deployment is irresponsible, I would roll back immediately while continuing the investigation, because customer experience is important. So you have to roll back it immediately, and then later you will find your investigation, you do your investigation. Now E6 staff engineer, he will say that I would follow the incident management process, stabilize the platform first. Okay, stabilize the platform first means roll back it, at least user can use your application. Okay, then identify the affected component using observability tools, coordinate rollback if necessary. Okay, and then platform root cause analysis and implement preventive measure to avoid similar regression. So now incident response flow, how it would be. So alert, so first you will check in alert. Okay, alert will trigger. So then you will go and check the means you will validate the incident. Okay, after that you will identify the bottleneck, then you perform some mitigation task. Okay, and then rollback if needed. If you are using the flag, so flag you can disable, you don't need to roll back there. Okay, feature flag, that is called. Then you will find the root cause analysis, you will do the permanent fix, and then postmortem means why this issue happened, but you will not blame anybody. Okay, follow-up question 1. So now let's talk about 13 14 follow-up questions here. Okay, so the first one is first investigation, how you will do your first investigation. So if I will say that first 5 minutes he will check monitor dashboard. Okay, first he will go to dashboard and check that, then compare before and after deployment metrics, verify deployment timeline, and check error rates, measure latency. Now E6 will say he will prioritize user impact. Okay, error budget consumption, and deployment history, service health, and incident severity. So stabilization comes before optimization. Okay, so follow-up question 2 is front end versus back end. So if I will say that he will compare what he will check in front end, JavaScript error, API response time, rendering time. Okay, and what he will check in backend, API latency, CPU, memory, and error rates. So break latency into, so you will check latency on each level, okay, of the application. So like browser side you will check, okay, whether there is some latency, CDN side, API gateway, feed service, database, and then cache side. Okay, so identify where the additional latency begins. Now follow-up question 3 is related to database. So if I will check, okay, regarding database, first of all slow queries, then connection pool usage, logs, and replication lag. Now E6 will investigate query execution plan. Okay, and then missing indexes, high write contention, database CPU, and storage latency. Okay, follow-up question 4 is cache. So he will verify, if I will verify cache hit ratio, Redis latency, and then cache availability. Now E6 will look for cache invalidation bugs. Okay, and then cache stampede means multiple times you are hitting database, okay, for the request. because it is not available in cache. And then unexpected cache misses, hotkeys, and then increased database fallbacks. Okay, next follow-up is CDN. So we are talking, we have just seen database, cache, and CDN side. Okay, so you have seen this diagram, right? So CDN, database, and database cache is done. So we are checking each level, what you will monitor to check the where is the latency is high. So now CDN, so if I will check cache hit rate, okay, and then asset download latency, geographic routing, and E6 will investigate CDN cache invalidation, edge server health, regional latency, and original server load. So follow-up question 6 is profiling. So profiling means if I will say that use CPU or memory profilers to identify expensive operations. Okay, and E6 will say that in profiling, so like CPU hotspot, he will check first. So what is CPU hotspot? Find which code consumes most CPU. So that will be your CPU hotspot. Then lock contention. What is lock contention? Find where threads are waiting for locks. Okay. Now memory allocation. So find where the application creates too many objects. And external API latency. Find which external service is making requests slow. And before and after, so compare performance metrics to prove the optimization worked. Okay, so now follow-up question 7 is rollback. If the deployment clearly caused the regression, rollback immediately. Okay, because of regression it happens, so yeah, rollback it immediately. Then rollback strategy. So first a new version will come, and let's say performance drop. Okay, so what you will do, you will roll back. Okay, you will verify the metrics and resume the investigation. Okay, user experience takes priority over debugging in production. Now follow-up question 9 is feature flag. So this is what I just told you, right? So if I will say that disable the newly released feature without redeploying, and E6 will say release risky feature behind feature flag so that they can be enabled or disabled gradually. This minimizes production risk. Okay, now follow-up question 10 is related to Canary deployment. So Canary deployment, deploy the new version to a small percentage of user first. Okay, so E6 will say example rollout first you will deploy 1%, then 5%, and then 20%, and then 100% users. And now monitor latency and error rates before increasing traffic. Follow-up question 11 is root cause analysis. So if I will determine what changed, why did it happen, or how was it fixed. Okay, and then E6 will say document related. So he will document the timeline, triggers, or root cause, contributing factors, impact, resolution, and preventive actions. Okay, so conduct a blameless postmortem. I told you this. You will figure out what happened, but you will not blame anybody for that. So follow-up question 12 is monitoring improvement. See, this monitoring improvement, right, these 4 things: infrastructure, application, cache, and business, you can use ditto as it is in any application. Okay, so just remember it once, and then you can reuse it everywhere. So if I will say that add dashboard and alerts for the feed latency. Okay, then E6 will say monitor across 4 dimensions. 4 dimensions: infrastructure, what will come in infrastructure, what he will check in infrastructure: CPU, memory, network, and disk. In application, API latency, error rate, throughput, and then queue depth. In cache, hit ratio, miss ratio, and Redis latency. And business, so free load time. Okay, then user engagement, session duration, and then daily active users. Follow-up question 13 is capacity planning. So what will come in capacity planning? If I will say ensure enough resources for expected traffic. Okay, then E6 will plan using peak traffic forecast. Okay, so what was the peak at the peak time? What was the traffic forecast? And then auto scaling, threshold, load testing, headroom 30 to 40%, and disaster recovery capacity. So regularly validate with stress or chaos testing. Okay, have you heard chaos monkey? So they intentionally introduce chaos monkey in their application, so that they can break the application, and they will come to know how the application is getting breaking, and then they can fix that. Now last one, follow-up question 14 is prevention strategy. Prevention means in future how you will prevent so that this issue will not occur. So if I will say improve testing and monitor deployment closely, E6 will implement automated performance regression test, and then Canary deployment, feature flag, SLO based alerts, then capacity testing, continuous profiling. Okay, we have seen what is profiling, automated rollback, and then regular incident review. So prevent issue before they affect users. So that's it. Thank you.